Hello and welcome to this edition of Silver Sneakers Boom Muscle. If you've been watching my previous videos, you know that I came down with a heart condition, atrial fibrillation, a few weeks ago. I have yet to meet with my cardiologist to figure out what to do next, although I am on a beta blocker to control the rate of my heart response. I do have a little device I can check my heart rhythm, and I see that I am sometimes in a normal sinus rhythm and sometimes in atrial fibrillation. I feel better when I'm in a sinus rhythm and have more energy. I hope the cardiologist can help me get it back to a sustained sinus rhythm and I can get back to my regular exercise. So my plan for the next 12 weeks is to work on my overall fitness, and once I get clearance from the cardiologist, can start increasing the intensity. I was a military veteran with the Navy, and I like to do their physical readiness test periodically. I find the Navy test and the Marines to be a little bit boring. They never seem to change, while the Army is always seeming to throw in a new wrinkle. So I'm going to train for the Army physical readiness test. I did read an article where if you score 80 on every one of the 6 disciplines, you don't have to get your body fat measured, which it sounds like a good incentive to me. 80 is about halfway between failure and a perfect score. So the devices we'll use, I'll go through those today. I won't demonstrate using them, but just to discuss what we've got. First test is a deadlift. You can use dumbbells. So this set, we give 2 at 100 pounds, 95, 90s, 80s. The actual test uses a hex bar, which, looking around, there it is. Hex bars have various weights, somewhere between 30 and 70 pounds. Each one's individual. Sometimes they'll be marked. You might have to weigh it. I think if you do a deadlift with the dumbbells to your sides, it's essentially the same. So a score for 80 for a male over the age of 62 would be about 160 pounds for 3 repetitions. So we could work on the 2 80-pound dumbbells. For the second exercise test, you take a 10-pound medicine ball and throw it overhead. You want to make sure there's nobody behind you. I'll demonstrate this, throwing it against the wall. Put your hands to the side, you swing it between your legs and throw it overhead. You get 3 tries on this one. And for a score of 80, you want to get it to about 7.5 meters, 25 feet or something like that. Again, it's a good exercise. I think 10 pounds for me is pretty light, and I have a tendency inside the room to hit the rafters on top. So, one more demonstration. So I almost hit the pipe. I'll work on a heavier one for that. Next exercise is push-up, which is done in a particular way. So you have your hands shoulder width apart. This is the lean and rest position. You lower your body down to the ground. Put your hands out to the side, back in, and up. And that's 1 repetition. You have 2 minutes to complete as many as possible. The score of 80 would be about 19 push-ups in the 2 minutes. The next test is called a sprint drag carry. So you have a 25-meter area. You first sprint down to the end and back. Then you grab this rope off of That's attached to two 45-pound plates, so a total of 90 pounds. You pull that down to the end and back. Then you do a lateral shuffle facing one direction down the 25 meters and back. Then you grab two 40-pound kettlebells, run with those down to the end and back, and you finish off with a to the 25-meter mark and back. The score of 80 is about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's what we'll be shooting for. So to recover from, I think that's quite an exhausting exercise, we'll go to a forearm plank. You can put your hands down on the ground, close together, elbows about shoulder width apart. Go into a plank position and just hold this. A good score of 80 is going to be, again, about 2.5 minutes. And our final exercise is a 2-mile run. We're going to aim for 15 minutes on that, and hopefully we can achieve this by springtime. So that's my Army combat readiness test for senior citizen. I hope to get clearance from cardiologists to start working on this, and I hope to demonstrate my test around April 1st. Hope you have a great week. I'll get back to you and let you know how I'm doing next week.